and welcome to our virtual yoga class. Thanks for signing on. We're going to invite inhale and exhale as we transition to lay on our backs. Take a moment to ground yourself here, inhaling and exhaling as you're settling into the beginning of class, back against the floor, inhaling and exhaling, stretching your legs out, palms resting on your belly, chest, or hands can bring your hips, palms up towards the ceiling, similar to our Shavasana, or closing pose. I'm noticing that this is a specific time for you to let go of yesterday and let go of tomorrow. Release some tension, arriving to this present moment, using your body as a vehicle here as you're working on your strength, flexibility, balance. Inhale, exhale, suck it out. And as you settle into your breath, remind yourself what a full breath is like, what that experience is like. When we're busy, we forget about our breath. Habitually shift into shallow breathing. Here is your opportunity to re-engage with a deep breath, inhaling, belly expanding, exhaling, release. Inhale. And exhale. Invite a full body stretch, lifting your arms up overhead. Really get into that full body stretch. You're stretching out your legs, flex your feet, lift your abdomen up towards the ceiling, open up chest, lengthen elbows. You're waking up the body, noticing here. Perhaps starting to notice where you'd like to focus on for the rest of the class. Continue inviting those deep breaths. Welcome that whole body stretch. And you can release your hands, both soles of the feet touch. Your knees are bent. Hands, or backs of the hands on the floor, palms facing up towards the ceiling. In our butterfly pose, we take about 5 to 10 intentional breaths here, softening and relaxing, while opening the hips. Perhaps inviting an intention for the rest of the class. Softening neck down the spine to your hips, imagining your knees fall further towards the floor. Deep belly breath, belly expands. You can exhale, sigh out, or just long exhale. And lift your arms up overhead, backs of the hands on the mat, elbows bent. Your head in the center of a diamond. There's a natural lift in your spine. Belly expands. Notice that exhale, release. Belly breath.
then start to release this butterfly pose, grounding your feet onto the mat, palms onto the mat. We're gonna lift our hips just a few inches off the floor. Take a breath, inhale, exhale. Grounding your heels onto the mat, gently activating the core, release your hips back down, take a breath. This time, we're gonna lift our hips all the way up. Place your attention on your heels. Engage your glutes. You're opening throughout the abdomen, stretching throughout the quads. Inhale, exhale. Chin tucks towards your chest. Glutes are active. And then drop your hips back down towards the floor. Inhale, exhale. And then lift your hips again. Inhaling, exhale. You have a tendency to collapse the hips. You want to imagine a cord lifting you up through your abdomen. Lift your hips as high as you can. And release your hips back down towards the floor. Inhale, exhale. You're gonna lengthen that left leg onto the floor, bend that right knee, grab that right knee with your hands, round your spine, forehead towards your knees. You're inviting a stretch in the mid back, upper back. You're activating your core. You can flex that left foot for a stretch there. Inhale and exhale. About 3 to 5 times here, lifting your forehead up towards your knee, dropping your head back, moving with intention. Flex that left foot, left leg is long. Notice the rounding of the spine, mid back, upper back. I'm going to release any tension around the neck. Try not to crunch around the shoulders. After one more round here. Drop your head back. We're intentionally grounding with our breath. Take a breath, inhale, exhale. Always arriving to our breath, using our breath to support ourselves as we're exploring our strength, flexibility, and balance. Now bend your left knee, grab that left knee with your hands. Round your spine, take your forehead up towards that knee. Core is active, drop your head back. Right leg is long, you can flex that right foot. I'm going to be engaged here fully with the body. Right foot is flexed, leg is long, core is active. You're rounding the spine, being specific here and activating core strength and releasing tension from the mid back and upper back around the area around the neck. You're at your own pace with intention. Go one more round, lifting forehead up towards that knee. And then drop your head back, intentional breath. We're arriving to our breath. We inhale and exhale throughout the class, continuously returning to the breath. After you've taken that breath, you'll start to ground your palms onto the mat. Come to lift, your legs will be long in front of you. And actually, we're going to go ahead and adjust here. We're going to take our right foot to press against our left thigh, lengthen your spine. Flex that left foot, take a breath, inhale, exhale. Noticing a stretch activated here just by flexing that left foot and lengthening your spine. And then exhale, start to fold belly towards that thigh. Hands can reach thighs, shins or toes. Hold, breathing into your hamstrings, backs of your legs, calves. Inhale, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath here. Remember, you're using your breath to deepen into that flexibility. Notice where that boundary is. Take that inhale, exhale, hold just a little bit more. And then release. Now ground that right foot onto the mat. Lengthen your left arm out. We're going to shift into a twist. So hook that elbow onto that knee. You're going to twist towards the right. Taking your chin over that right shoulder, or towards that right shoulder. That's better described. You want to flex your left foot. Now your spine is long. Your foot is flexed. Very purposely looking out behind you. Opening the chest, sliding that shoulder back. And then release. Now lengthen your right leg out. You're going to press that left foot right against that right thigh. Flex your right foot, lengthen your spine, take a breath, noticing what's already activated here just by lengthening your leg, flexing that foot, and keeping a long spine. And then start to fold belly towards that right thigh. Hands reaching anywhere, thighs, shins, or toes. Your goal here is not to grab your toes. Your goal here is just to deepen into your flexibility. Hands can reach anywhere. Use a deep breath. Notice where your boundary is. See if you can push it to a point that's not painful. Deep belly breath. One more breath, and after that breath, very intentionally release. You're taking that left foot onto the mat, taking your right arm up. You're going to hook that elbow onto your knee as you're simultaneously twisting towards the left. You're flexing your right foot. Your spine is long. Chin towards that left shoulder. Chest is open. And then release. We're going to go ahead and shift into a tabletop, making sure our hands are beneath your shoulders, knees width, hips width distance apart. I'm going to ground that right palm onto the mat, lift my left arm up towards the ceiling, lengthening that left arm as much as I can here, pressing my right palm onto the mat. Intentional breath. And then release, opposite side, press your left palm onto the mat. Lift your right arm up. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to start to shift into that upside down V. In our downward facing dog. Hold. Inhale. Exhale. Release your knees onto the mat. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, down. Exhale, cat pose. You're rounding your spine, chin towards chest. Hold. Back to neutral. Downward facing dog. Breathing into the backs of your legs. Inhale, exhale. Drop your knees back to the mat. Inhale up, cow pose. Exhale, round your spine, cat pose, chin towards chest. Inhaling up, cow pose. Exhaling, cat pose. Then after that cow pose, neutral position. Lift up, downward facing dog, toes are curled, heels are lifted. Breathe to the backs of the legs. Palms on the mat. Inhale here, you can exhale side out. And then drop your knees onto the mat. Last round, 3 rounds. Inhaling up, cow pose. Exhaling to a cat pose. 2 more rounds. Inhaling up. Exhaling. And then last round, inhaling up. Cow pose, chest is open. Exhale, round your spine, chin towards chest, cat pose. Neutral position. And as you might have guessed, downward facing dog, lifting your hips up towards the ceiling and holding in. Exhale. Take your gaze between your hands to walk your chest up to that forward fold. You're going to let your torso dangle here. Cup your elbows with your hands. Raise a bend to your knees. Breathe into the backs of your legs. And then release your hands, your arms. Slowly roll up to standing. Your arms are dangling. There is no hurry. Shift into a mountain pose with hands framing your hips, palms out. If I tried to move you, it'd be difficult to do so. You're grounded, heels on the mat, core is active, glutes as well, chest is open, arms radiate out, palms, fingertips radiate as well. It'd be difficult for me to move you. Inhale, exhale. From here, bring your arms out to a T, kind of shift to a twist. Twist towards the left, taking your gaze over that left hand. Hips are simultaneously squared towards the front. To the best of your ability, your hips will naturally open. To the best of your ability, keep those hips squared towards the front. Back to center, opposite side. Taking your gaze over that right hand. Hips squared towards the front. Back to center, release your hands. Inhale, arms lift. Interlace your fingers, palms up towards the ceiling. Lift your heels either halfway or all the way up. Core, glutes, quads are active. Keep your gaze steady. This is a very critical part to any balance pose, is a steady gaze. Help support you in your balance. There's a lot of focus here. Try not to tighten the breath, deep belly breath. Shoulders are soft. So even though your elbows are kind of long here, you're stretching out. Your body is active. Your shoulders are still soft. You want to crunch up your shoulders next to your ears. That's a tendency that we can do sometimes. Release your hands, release your heels. Cup either your forearms or over your elbows with your hands. Try to take your gaze, lift your chin, invite a slight arch to your spine. And then release. This time, interlace your fingers behind you. Now, when you do that, I'm very purposely extending my elbows. I'm drawing my shoulder blades closer together. So it's it looks simple, but there's a lot going on. My shoulder blades are stitched close together. Fingertips are wound up, either palms touching or not, and my elbows are long. I can start to lift my chin, my gaze up towards the ceiling, not too much where it creates some strain around your neck or back. We're cultivating body awareness. Notice where your boundaries are. Move intentionally and slowly. It's part of our beginner yoga class. And then bend your knees, fold down, elbows shoot out behind you. Inhale. And then exhale, release your hands to your shins. Inhale, halfway back. Shoulders are drawn back is flat. Exhale, release 2 more times with your breath. Inhaling halfway up. Exhaling, releasing 3rd time. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, softening back in cat. This time, Either roll up slowly or sweep your arms up overhead. So hands will either meet in front of your heart center or hands will frame your hips. Either expression of mountain pose works. Eyes opened or closed. Find your breath. As you invite your breath, you invite your experience. No judgment. Inhale and exhale. Release your hands. Inhale, arms lift. Palms up towards the ceiling. Keep your gaze steady as you lift your heels halfway or all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, steady gaze. Steady gaze and steady breath. And in any balance pose, always feel free to step in or out of the pose. Stepping out is perfectly fine. Just find your way back to the pose. Always a practice of patience. We're working on our physical, mental, emotional bodies. And then release your hands, release your heels. We're going to ground that balance into a chair pose or a grounded pose. Feet are hips width a distance apart. We're going to bend our knees, lift our tailbone, arms shoot out, chest is open. Pose of strength and stability. Lots of focus here. Release any tension by lifting your tailbone. Shoulders are drawn down. And then release, soft neck, head, hands to shins, inhale, halfway up, 3 rounds. Back and flat, shoulders drawn back. Breathe into the backs of your legs. And after that third round, your choice. Roll up slowly or sweep your arms up overhead. Be intentional about how you come up to standing. Part of our practice is learning to listen to our bodies. Listen to the very subtle ways we just naturally desire to move. Hands in front of your heart center. Inhale here, you can exhale, side up. Shoulders are soft and relaxed. Inhale again. Exhale, side out, third time, releasing tension from a year ago, 2 months ago, yesterday, this morning. Inhale. Exhale, side out. We're going to start to shift into a wide-legged forward fold. You're going to lengthen your stance significantly here. This is a variation to your regular forward fold, but the stance is a lot wider. You're going to invite the tiniest little bend to your knees, hands to hips. We're going to fold halfway. You're going to hold that halfway point. And then fold all the way. Hands can reach the floor. You can also grip your big toe with your index and thumb. That's another option. You can cup your elbows as well. Let your torso go. Do not strain your neck. Head fully drops. You're grounded through your heels, your feet, your legs are active. Your upper body is soft. Breathe into the backs of your legs, lower back. Three more breaths here. And then start to take your hands to your hips, go halfway up, and then lift all the way up. Now Now remain in this stance. Now you can make some adjustments. We're going to shift into a goddess pose. By adjustments is that you need to close in that gap more. You can go ahead and do that. Toes face the opposite sides of the room. And then your knees are at a 90-degree angle. Hands in front of your heart, and lift your arms up as well. Another pose of strength, stability, and focus. Engaging different areas around your quads, glutes, hips are open. We've opened up our hips earlier. Keep your gaze steady. Find a point to focus on. That helps with these poses that require so much more of us. Inhale. And then exhale, release your goddess pose. Toes down towards the front, last forward fold or wide-legged forward fold. This time, inviting an upper body stretch by interlacing our fingers behind us, elbows touching or not. Very purposely stitching my elbows close together. So again, palms touching or not. Fold halfway, elbows are locked behind you. And then all the way. Elbows extend behind you. You can remain here. If that's too much, just drop your arms, drop your hands. Breathe into the backs of your legs if your arms are up. Shoulders. Release your hands if you've not done so already. Take a breath here. And then start to shift into your regular forward fold. Take your feet closer together, hips width apart. Hands to your shins, inhale halfway up. Exhale, release, shift into a downward facing dog, planting your palms onto the mat and shift into that upside down V. Lift your hips, ground your hands on the mat. As you're grounding your hands, you're bringing your chest closer towards your thighs. Belly breath. And then release your knees onto the mat. Inhale up, cow pose, lifting your tailbone, opening your chest. Exhale, round your spine to your cat pose. Now start to move at your own pace. Either moving your breath, inhaling up and down, or exploring one pose a little longer. It's all right to breathe into a couple of inhales and exhales into just a cat pose or just a cow pose. Just a cat or cow pose. Inhaling, exhaling, rounding your spine, wherever you're at, anywhere from 2 to 3 more breaths, cat cow pose. And then you'll start to shift into a neutral position, neutral tabletop. Lift your left leg so it's parallel to the floor. Ground that left palm onto the mat. Lift your right arm up. Deep belly breath. Inhale. Exhale. Arm and leg are parallel to the floor. Core, not just core is active, but your glutes and quads as well. Notice and support you to the deep belly breath. Release that right hand. Release that left knee. Opposite side, lift your right leg up. Ground that right palm onto the mat. Lift your left arm up. Left arm, right leg parallel to the floor. Deep belly breaths. core, glutes, quads active. Release that left hand. Release that knee. One half pose. One half pose. Start to release here. We're going to sit. Both soles of the feet touch. Spine long. Start to fold. Elbows can rest in the creases right behind your knees. Inhale here. Exhale. Notice where your boundary is. Fold a little bit more. Arriving to this moment, letting go of yesterday and tomorrow. Out. And exhale. Belly breath. Out. Exhale. And release. Start to lengthen your legs out in front. We're going to drop our elbows to the mat. We'll do that. And then we'll drop our head. However, be aware they're going to drop your head while simultaneously lifting your abdomen, your belly up towards the ceiling. Lotus open, shoulders cradle your neck. Inhale. Exhale, release. Lengthen your elbows. Together, let's inhale here, exhale, sigh it out. We'll bend at both knees, both feet float off the floor, and then start to massage that lower back. You're gonna rock to the left, to the right. Massaging the area around your tailbone, but you can also focus around your hips. And exhale. Bend your knees, take your forehead up towards your knee. Hold. Drop your head back, and then full body stretch. As we did at the beginning of class, notice any differences now. After another breath or two, settling into these stretches, we'll start to shift into our final resting pose of the class, Shavasana. Lengthen your legs, palms face up towards the ceiling, back to the hands. On the ground, the floor, the mat. Notice that we have to cultivate a practice of returning to our bodies and our breath. We're not just automatically
good at it. It's a cultivation. So don't come into this practice thinking it's good or bad, except what you're learning, you're cultivating. So here in the Shavasana, settle to relaxation, softening forehead, jaw, neck, and shoulders. Down the length of your arms, your wrists, and palms, and fingertips. Noticing your hands let go, or hands that tend to clench onto so much, hold so much, and do so much for us. Soften your hands, being gratitude of your hands. Take your forefinger middle, index and thumb, each softening further. Soften the upper back, mid back, lower back, the area around the tailbone. Then down to your hips behind your knees, to your ankles and toes. And exhale, either inviting deep intentional breaths or allowing your breath to go back to its natural rhythm. Invite either approach.
Start to invite a generous inhale and exhale, restoring some movement to our fingertips and our toes. Inviting a generous inhale and exhale. You can stretch your arms up overhead. Find another full body stretch. You remain where you are. You can also turn your body to the left or to the right. Returning to a generous and leisurely breath. Grounding once again with the body and with our breath. And after another breath here or two, start to make your way intentionally and slowly to your seat. Cross-legged position. For any seat that's comfortable for you. And as you settle into your seat, see how can you invite what you've cultivated throughout the class. What adjustments can you do that's an indication of your practice? And then we'll seal the class with an intentional breath cycle, taking our hands in front of our heart centers. Inhale here and exhale. And in the tradition of yoga, the highest in you sees the highest in you. We may walk with each other in gratitude.